Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, before I give the statistics, I'd like to just highlight that birth registration or civil birth registration is in fact considered to be a fundamental human right under Article 24 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and Article 7 of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Fulfillment of the right to be registered at birth is closely linked to the realization of the many other fundamental rights such as socioeconomic rights, the right to health, education, the right to movement, and of course the right to participate in civic processes, amongst others. Mr. Speaker, sir, as part of the Sustainable Development Agenda 2 under 2030 under the title of To Leave No One Behind, again under Target 16.9, the 2030 Agenda calls on states to provide a legal identity for all, including through birth registration, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, it also calls Target 17 that by 2030, all countries should achieve 100% birth registration and at least 80% death registration by 2030. Mr. Speaker, sir, in Fiji, as we know that we launched the PAP, or the Parent Assistance Program, in which fundamentally the mother of the child is entitled to $1,000 upon the birth of a child if the mother earns less than $30,000 a year. And the options that she has of registration is that she can register electronically. If she registers electronically, in other words through a phone, puts in the application, there's no fee for the registration, there's no actual fee for the birth certificate itself once she's physically given the birth certificate. Mr. Speaker, sir, the $1,000 assistance is broken down by way of once the registration takes place, the mother has the ability to nominate the bank in which she wants the $1,000 deposited, and then of course armed with that, once the registration takes place, she goes to the bank and $1,000 is actually put into the bank account. She can immediately withdraw $500 for the rearing of the child. The balance of the $500, Mr. Speaker, sir, is then something that can be withdrawn, or that amount can be withdrawn when the child goes to year 1 or school, primary school. The idea, Mr. Speaker, sir, is of course to inculcate or institute a culture of financial literacy and of course a culture of savings. The child, of course, is also given a TIN number, so they actually get within the system itself. And of course, they have the bank account under the child's name, which the mother actually operates, Mr. Speaker, sir. Since its inception, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have processed 20,427 applications as of 31 January 2020, which means we've dispersed funds to the tune of $20.427 million to these parents. What is really interesting, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that the statistics, we of course have been monitoring the registrations. If you register your child within 2 months of the child being born, it's considered to be what you call in-time registration. If you register the child after the 2 months, it's late registration, various fees are actually applicable. Interestingly enough, in 2016, when the Ministry of Health, through its system, had 19,180 births, only 19.9% of the children were registered within 2 months of the child being born. In 2017, out of the 19,646 children born, only 20.1% were registered within the 2 months. We started PAP, Mr. Speaker, sir, in late 2018, and we had 19,736 births, and 33.4% were registered within the first 2 months. In 2019, Mr. Speaker, sir, with the birth figures of 17,913, 80% of the children were registered within the first 2 months of the child being born. So obviously the PAP has provided to be an incentive for the parents to register the child, but more importantly also, the feedback we received, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that the ability for the mother to be able to sit in a hospital bed and to be able to send the application through the app that's there has proven to be actually very useful. And it becomes a one-stop shop. They don't have to go running around, etc. And they just go once, they get the registration done, they get the birth certificate. If they do it through the phone, it's completely free, and they get the account opened within with the bank itself, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, the other important thing is that with now the BDM offices open in every urban center, including in places like Korovo, Kayasi, Levuka, and Namboalu, people actually don't have to run, go to long distances. Before, only a few years ago in Fiji, the BDM offices were only in Lambasa, Latoka, and Suva. Today, it's in every urban center, including these places that I mentioned, Korovo, Kayasi, Levuka, and Namboalu. And of course, we intend to extend the services of BDM. But as far as the PAP is concerned, Mr. Speaker, sir, you see a significant increase in the registration of children, which is a fantastic thing. And of course, Mr. Speaker, sir, we're able to have a wonderful impact on the lives of these mothers who've just given birth to these children, and of course the children themselves, and at the same time create a culture of savings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you.